Hi, I'm Terry Tazioli. Welcome to King County Reads. Have you ever been to a library that's literally built on a bridge? We're going to show you a view of the Cedar River. It's one of the best around. Virtual reality. Does that sound out of this world? Well, here's your chance to try on those crazy VR glasses and visit a different reality. And what's on your reading list? Have we got some great suggestions for you and the whole family? Welcome to the Renton Library. For more than 50 years, it's been a bridge across the community. It literally features a stunning 80-foot span stretching across the Cedar River through the heart of Renton. You can see the water from just about everywhere inside this beautiful building, which KCLS renovated in 2015. It's always been a bridge of learning, and now it's a bridge to an ever-growing diverse population. For many, it's a bridge to a new future. We're talking today with Joe Cavinta Anderson, who is the Diversity Program Coordinator for King County Library System. And we're going to talk today about immigration and citizenship. Big part of what you do. Mm-hmm. You go.
All right.
Tell me what you do in regard to that. What does the library system offer?
Sure. So I'm the Diversity Services Coordinator for the King County Library System, and part of my job is offering adult education services to adult learners, which includes immigrants, refugees, people who are learning English. And so we have a pretty wide variety of services to offer folks to feel welcome in the community, to gain new knowledge and skills, to do things like prepare for the citizenship test, apply for naturalization. And so we offer a number of classes through our adult education program. Citizenship is a class that we've offered for several years. At any given time, we have between 8 and 14 classes being offered throughout the county. And here in Renton at the Renton Highlands Library. I think it's important to note that King County itself has experienced tremendous growth in our immigrant population. So, for example, between 1990 and the 2010 census, our immigrant or foreign-born population went up from 140,000 to 400,000. And so, especially in South King County, we have 22% of our population that is foreign-born. King County Library System has many different programs for all ages for people, including world language story times in English. So coming with your children is a great way to learn early learning and development skills. We have a number of programs where caregivers can come in and understand how playtime is also about early literacy, and so they come to things like Play and Learn. We have Play and Learn in Spanish and in Chinese. And actually in King County, Spanish, Chinese, and Vietnamese are our top 3 languages, which is also true for Renton. We have a number of things in our collections, not just books. We do have books in many different languages, but we also print newspapers from around the world.
In preparing for citizenship, those numbers, in my mind, tell me that this just must be skyrocketing. Mm-hmm. You're busy.
Yes. And so just to give you an example, we saw in 2017, 675 individuals seeking citizenship. And here in Renton, we saw 31 folks so far this year, and helped 65 or so last year prepare to apply and take the test. Because the process is really about getting ready to have the English language proficiency needed to pass the test. You have to know how to write and read in basic English. You have to prove you have good moral character and that you're going to be an upstanding citizen. You have to talk about, ways you've met the criteria.
You have an army
Yes.
of volunteers.
Yes.
Talk about the volunteers. Where do they come? Who are they? Where do they come from?
Sure. The real hero in this story are the volunteers who provide our citizenship classes. We have folks, many of whom are retirees, former educators, who are looking for ways to give back, and they commit their time weekly our classes are ongoing. They're year-round, and so we do take breaks here and there, but essentially they're there every week, welcoming students, preparing lesson plans, giving them opportunities to do mock interviews and get ready. The application itself is very daunting. If you can imagine, it's a 20-page document, not in basic English, yet you are required to know some basic English, but this is a very bureaucratic document. There's 50 questions alone demonstrating what your moral character is. And then on top of that, there's a filing fee of $640 plus $75 to get your fingerprints, and so you have to have $725 to apply. The process now takes almost a year. Our students are reporting that it can take a year between turning in their application and actually getting their interview.
And is that a product of our times in 2018 in this country?
I would
because
say,
obviously,
yeah.
I mean, it's not the elephant in the room, but it is. Immigration is the center of a huge debate here.
That wait time is definitely an indicator, because the busier the United States Office of Citizenship and Immigration is, the longer that wait time. So whereas maybe 5 years ago, it would take 3 months to complete the process, as I mentioned, now it can take up to a year before you sit in front of an officer. So it's very diverse as far as the countries of origin, the languages, professions. We see people who are professionals, small business owners, teachers in their home country, and now they're trying to find their way.
Have you ever tried to fill out the application?
I have taken some of the physics and history test questions. We have flashcards that we give them, and so they use that quite often. And so there's 100 questions you need to memorize. And so that's part of the anxiety.
That's a tough process
That
for folks,
is,
especially people
it is.
for whom English is not a native tongue.
Right. And so when students do go and pass the test, they are so excited. A lot of them will come back to the class saying, I did it. It wasn't that bad, or this is what you can expect, that sort of thing. Or they send us a postcard saying, hey, I did it. Thanks
So do they
for
get
the opportunity.
a little official postcard or something?
We give them
that
a
says,
little official postcard, and they get to return it. And so it's always just been a desire to work with folks who are striving to achieve the American dream, basically. And so helping folks who, are looking for home, are looking for place. Because another thing that the volunteers tell us is they meet a lot of people who are lonely, who haven't forged those connections, and the library can help in so many ways. And so we have people from all over King County who just arrived, and are now looking for friendships, looking for services, and we want folks to know that libraries are a place where they can do that. There's a place where there's people who care and who will help you connect.
Thank you. This is great. It's very nice to have you here. Great program, and thank you for spending the time.
Thank you, Terry. This has been fun.
You're welcome. Okay, they might seem a little wacky, but aren't you dying to try the new virtual reality glasses and take a trip someplace else? Well, you might just get the chance at a KCLS library. We're with Jessica Hughes, Public Service Assistant for King County Library System. I love this. We get to talk about virtual reality.
Virtual reality.
Which doesn't exist yet in King County libraries, but there's a brand new program.
So we're participating in a partnership with the University of Washington iSchool to explore the possibilities of educational merit of VR in libraries. The Tukwila Library and the Federal Way Libraries are the first to sort of pilot this program. What we're doing is exploring the possibilities of virtual reality as an educational tool, and how it can connect to the other programming that we're doing in libraries, for example, STEAM education. So how can we relate it to science? How can we relate it to art, technology, engineering? There's all of these possibilities with this new technology that we really haven't discovered yet. And part of the aim of this project is to really experiment and tinker and find out what we can do with this amazing technology and how we can make it accessible to our patrons. And one of the great things about this program is that it's aimed at underserved populations. So for now at the Tukwila Library, we're serving a population that perhaps wouldn't have access to this cutting edge technology. And we're finding out how we can use that to break down those barriers of tech access to create connections with each other.
What is virtual reality and how does it work?
Well, virtual reality is a computer simulated environment that you're interacting with when you put on a headset, which is connected to a computer, and they've got sensors that create this digital three-dimensional environment that you can then interact with. When I came into this, I thought it was going to just be games, but it turns out that we're connecting it with, I believe you visited the Bellevue Makerspace. All of those kits, the 3D pens that you saw, all of these can connect with wraparound programming with the VR. And I've been working on it at the Tukwila Library, and the results that we're seeing are really amazing because there's actually a new senior housing development that just went up.
It's across the street,
Across
right?
the street.
Yeah.
And then we're also right down the street from a high school where over 40 languages are spoken. And so what we're seeing is intergenerational possibilities of programming. So we've got people of all ages that can participate as long as you're 13 or over and you have a waiver signed.
There you go.
But you're seeing people from different generations interacting with this technology, and the hope there is that we'll break down those perceived barriers to access, because there's a lot of hesitation, and we want you to come play.
I would like to come play.
We also have a lot of educational programs that are sitting programs. You don't have to be standing, you don't have to be moving. We have a lot that are sort of like immersive documentary films. So for instance, BBC has one where you are observing bears hunting for salmon, but you can be sitting while doing that. You don't have to be on a space station, which is another one of our programs where that zero gravity might feel a little
Kind
bit
of going for a ride, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a variety of different VR experiences based on what you're interested in and how you want to interact with it. So the exciting thing about doing VR in the Tukwila area, because we're such a diverse population in South King County, there are so many possibilities. For instance, we have a Google Earth experience in VR, and just imagine you've got people in the area from over 50 countries of origin. What if you were able to take a tour of everyone's hometown via Google Earth? So one thing that we have been experimenting with is having people take the Google Earth experience, take it to Street View, and they will take us on a tour of their hometown. How cool is that?
What a great idea.
So no matter where you're from, we're connecting people in this way. And then we've got it up on the big screen in our room so that everyone else in the room is also connecting with this experience and this person's hometown. And so there's so many possibilities for science and technology, but also for storytelling and creating connections with our community and the rest of the world. So it's just really energizing to think about it that way.
And if you think about it, it fits right in with the mission of a library today, that there is all this knowledge to share, and I get to be a participant as well as a guide, as well as a teacher, maybe even a librarian.
Exactly.
That's great.
And so it's really exciting that we can connect people not only to each other in this way, but to technology that really can seem very inaccessible. And we are wanting to make it accessible to people of all backgrounds, ages, and we want to connect them with it.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
It's
thank
great
you.
to meet you.
It's great to meet
and
you.
It's great to have you here.
Great,
And
thank
you will see me again.
Perfect.
I'll be in there.
Please come to a session.
Okay.
We'll have fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone is welcome at King County Libraries, and the library system is recruiting team members from a diverse background. We're here with Cynthia McNabb, who is the Human Resources Director for King County Library System. Hi, Cynthia.
Hi.
Thanks for spending time.
Well, thanks for having me.
The population of King County obviously is changing. It's a much more diverse place than it's ever been, and probably will continue to be. How do libraries and how do you all deal with that?
Well, Renton is a great example. So Renton is a very diverse community, and when you walk into this library and you see our employees who work in Renton, they are a really wonderful example of the broad demographics that you see in the Renton community. And the other thing that the Renton Library has done, which is unique to Renton, is they offer programs and services that are targeted and specific to this community. One of our goals is that anybody who walks into the library can feel welcome. And that looks different for a lot of different people. So if you walk into the library, you not only want to feel welcome, but you want to see someone who reflects your experience, reflects your community. And so that's one of the ways that we think about inclusivity. And one of the things that we're doing and really focused on is finding people to be employed at KCLS who have a service orientation, but maybe are not necessarily traditional library people. And that there are a lot of opportunities here for people to come in and be an effective employee at KCLS, but aren't from a traditional library background.
Give me some examples when you talk about that.
So we have what's called the Page Fellow program. So the Page Fellows program is a program, it's a on-the-job training program and a mentoring program for people that don't have traditional library skills. So it could be that they don't have the skills and knowledge that traditionally come from going to library school, or it could be that they just don't have access to the kind of education you would need. So instead we create avenues for people to come in and learn about the library, receive on-the-job training, and then be mentored to be promoted in the library system. We also have opportunities for employees with disabilities. So one of the things we have is called a Page Assistant program, and that's a position where we've modified one of our existing jobs to offer opportunities for people with learning and developmental disabilities. And then that's a program where we are expanding and broadening to find opportunities in other different departments, IT, facilities, for people to work on the job, gain job skills, who have disabilities and might not have access to the workforce.
And I love this. You could say you're kind of an example of this, right? And you're not a librarian.
I am not a librarian, and I did not come from library world.
Where did you come from, Cynthia?
So my position prior to coming to the library was to do to run the HR department for the Department of Adult and Juvenile Detention at King County. So I came from the jail system to the library, which is a very non-traditional path.
And you came to the jail system from law school. There.
Yeah. So I had been a labor and employment attorney for many years before I joined King County.
So hey, inclusivity works in your
It does.
case. Thank you.
Thank
Cynthia,
you.
it's great to talk with you.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you
too.
very
Thank
much.
you.
Appreciate it. I'm here with Cecilia McGowan and Emily Calkins, and we are going to talk about summer reading.
When children leave school, and I'm talking kids clear up into 18, into high school, they can lose a lot of all the gains that they've made in the prior school year if they don't keep reading. So the public library and the King County Library System works with parents, teachers, kids, teens, to get them in the library and keep reading. We have really fun programs. We have great incentives, great prizes, but it's kind of our trick to have fun, but keep reading. Because kids that go back in the fall that don't keep reading, after 3 years, they are behind almost 3 grade levels. So it's critical that kids keep reading, keep that muscle working.
Well, and I love the name, the summer slide.
It is the summer
Summer
slide.
slide. We're not
But
talking
it's
about
not
water
fun,
parks.
and it's not fun. And kids whose parents can't afford to send them to summer camps, music festivals, art classes, the library provides all those resources to keep them engaged and learning. And it's a way for parents to connect and be engaged with their children too, and the library, and show that reading and the library are terrific pursuits and a lifelong way to be a learner.
Libraries Rock is our theme this summer, so you'll find lots of music programs and all kinds of fun music-themed stuff happening in our libraries all summer long.
Programs for little guys and for big old guys like me too.
That's right. We have summer reading for kids that are just born, newborns. We have baby story time. We have story times in 15 languages in our libraries, preschool, toddler, great programs, and then we go right on up.
Yeah, so we have adult summer reading this year. Adults can earn prizes, can participate in summer reading, and I think one of the things that's really exciting is a lot of times for adults, we forget how much fun reading can be, and so summer reading is a chance to sort of rediscover, I get to read whatever I want. I can enjoy all of this amazing literature that's out there. And going back to that idea of the summer slide, one of the most important things for kids as they're learning to read is to see adults in their life learning to read. So whether that's parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, family, friends, having reading modeled in all age groups is really important.
Well, it also seems that this is a good way to encourage people to read, as you were referring to, all year long. Where did the idea for this begin?
It's a program that has been around probably since the American Library Association started. We have had summer reading because teachers and parents, librarians, realized how important it was to have kids have something to do and to keep learning in the summer.
What kinds of programs are offered, or an example or two, to encourage that?
Puppetry, storytelling, performances, dancing, for younger children. And
for adults, we have a series of author events this summer with over 30 events, 20 different authors in our libraries, everything from romance to nonfiction about cooking or about the life cycle of salmon, all kinds of interesting things.
another really important aspect of summer reading is all of the visits that we make outside the library. We go where kids and teens are.
But if I'm a kid in the park that's not close, what am I looking for? The van?
You're looking for a van, or you're looking with somebody with a bunch of books waving their hands saying, I'm going to read to you today, or I'm going to bring a performance to you today. And all the kids that we visit in the summer outside the library, we give them a book too. Because a lot of those kids don't have a book.
You both brought a little show and tell here, right?
Yes, we did.
So flash your books.
I had the great honor to be the chair of the Newbery Award, which is the highest honor for children's literature in the United States. And I want to tell you about our winner, Hello Universe, by Erin Entrada Kelly. Virgil is a Filipino-American boy. He is part of a family that is so boisterous, he feels kind of left out. There's a girl in his class that he adores, and she's deaf, and he's trying to connect with her. And did I tell you? There's a bully. There's a bully, and something terrible happens.
And he gets his in the end.
Well, I'm not going to tell you.
Okay, fine.
However, this book is about family and background and friendships and a guinea pig named Gulliver and how the universe can turn in unexpected ways.
Okay, next book.
Next book, Crown, an ode to the fresh cut. Well, what could be better than a haircut? A boy walks into a barber shop and he comes out a prince. Now, the Newbery Award is given for the written word. So how come a picture book won the Newbery? Because of the language. Beautiful language, and wow, getting a haircut can really change you.
So I have all ages. I'm going to start with adult. My first pick is The Ensemble by Gable. This is a literary novel about a musical quartet, a string quartet. So it fits right in with our theme. It follows the quartet from the concert that kicks off their career at the end of their graduation through the decades of their career, their relationships with each other, their friendships. They fall in love, they split up, they have children, they get back together. It's a really, really wonderful story, sort of unputdownable. If you like Meg Wolitzer or Celeste Ng, this story about relationships and people through many decades. My next pick is one of our authors from our author series. So this is How to Taste by Becky Selingut. She is a local chef and writer, and this book is all about the science of taste, why some people can eat really spicy foods and drink their black coffee, and some people need 3 scoops of sugar in their coffee. It's all about understanding how taste works, how you can correct your soup if it goes all wrong. It's really funny, engaging, full of recipes and experiments that you can try, and Becky's going to be in our libraries this summer leading some of those experiments.
Great.
My next pick is Solo. This is a teen book by Kwame Alexander, who's a beloved teen author. It's written in verse, so again, fits right in with our theme. A lot of the poems in here are actually song lyrics written by the main character. His name is Blade. His dad is a former rock star, used to be like the biggest thing in the world of rock, and now suffers from a drug addiction, is not a reliable guy in Blade's life, and instead Blade relies on his girlfriend. He discovers a family secret that leads him on a journey of self-discovery. There's lots of fun stuff about music. It's all in verse, so it's a really quick and engaging read. That's Solo. My next pick is Burn Baby Burn by Meg Medina. This is a coming-of-age story set in New York City. It's 1977. It's the summer of arsons, of blackouts, and it's the summer of Son of Sam, the serial killer. Amid all of that, Nora just wants to be 17. She wants to fall in love. She wants to have a summer job. She wants to dream of escaping. Meg Medina is a wonderful writer. This is a really atmospheric novel. It makes you feel like you're right there in 1977 in the heat and the disco. This is Better Nate Than Ever by Tim Federle. It's about Nate. He's 13 years old. He loves musical theater, and he does not fit in his blue-collar Pennsylvania town. So when he sees a listing, an ad for auditions for E.T. the Musical in New York City, he decides he's going to go for it. It's about being who you are, feeling comfortable in your own skin, and family, and it is so funny and charming. And then one last one. This is Say Zoop by Hervé Dulé. It's interactive without having parts that can be ripped off. So it's practical and just so colorful and fun and interactive in a really special way. So that's Say Zoop by Hervé Dulé.
Thank you. You two are great.
Thank you.
I'm coming back. I just want to have my own little private sit down with the two of you, and you can tell me what I need to read.
Oh, we're happy to do that.
You're not?
Absolutely.
Oh, we're happy to
You're
do
happy
that.
to do that?
Oh, yeah.
So am I. Thank you both. It's just
You're very
great to
welcome.
speak with you, and thank you for the recommendations.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Visit us online at kcls.org. See you next time.